Hi, and welcome to my review of The Hunger Games. Is a film directed by Gary Ross and was produced in 2012. The film is also based on a novel of the same name by Suzanne Collins. The film starts off in District 12, where Katniss Everdeen lives with her mother and little sister Primrose. The country of Panem, which is located somewhere in North America, is divided in districts from 1 to 13. The most wealthy of them is District 1, which is also known as the capital. The other districts are more or less not a place you would identify as utopia. The other districts are full of starving and poor people who every day work to get at least some food on the table. One day Katniss goes into the woods to hunt, but it's interrupted by a sort of boyfriend, Gale. They talk about running away together from it all, from all the suffering and the bad life they have. Katniss, however, is a bit skeptical of the idea of running away because she's afraid they might get caught. In Panem, there's also an annual event called the Hunger Games. In the Hunger Games, two people, a man and a woman from each district, is chosen to participate in the Hunger Games. Here they will have to fight each other until only one person is standing victorious, but with the blood of other contestants on his or her hands. The ceremony where they pick the two people is called the Reaping. On the day the reaping occurs, Katniss' little sister Prim is old enough to get her name thrown in the bowl. Prim is very afraid, but Katniss encourages her and tells her that everything is gonna be alright. Then the a little bit eccentric woman from the capital, Effie, draws Prim's name from the bowl. Katniss reacts to this and is storming forward to stop her from going up there. She's then held back by the guards but says that she volunteers. Katniss is then, along with the male contestant Peter Malark, showed into a room where they say the last goodbyes to the families. On the way to the capital, they then get some advices from their mentor, a former victor, Haymitch. Here, Peter wants to know some secrets and some not to die, some tips not to die. He tells them to win over the sponsors and the people who are watching so that they will like them. On the opening ceremony, the designer Cinna made it so their wagon and their clothes looked like they were on fire, which made a huge impression on the crowd. Then the game starts and people start killing each other one by one. She runs into the woods, hiding and without any kind of weapons. Some of the other contestants have formed an alliance with Peter in it, and they use him to find her. Then they find her, and she runs for her life. She hides in a tree and decides to wait her, and they decide to wait for her to come down. Next morning, one of the other contestants, Rue, a little girl from District 11, helps Katniss kill some of the members in the group by throwing a wasp nest on them. Some of them dies because the wasps are poisonous. She then takes a bow and an arrow from one of the dead bodies. Then Katniss and Rue teams up and blows all of the other suppliers. However, one of them finds Rue and attacks her. Katniss kills him, but he throws his spear and impales Rue. Rue dies and Katniss gives her a proper funeral. Then Katniss finds Peter, who is hiding by using some camouflage, but he is injured, so she hides him in a cave. Then some of the others are killed, and then Peter gets some medicine for his wounds. And then the final battle, you could say, is when they face one of the last contestants, Cato, and there are some dogs, sort of dogs, tailing them, and they get onto this, I don't know what it is, kind of spaceship. It's not flying, but it's standing there, and the dogs are waiting for them. And then they fight up there, and Cato is knocked out and thrown to the ground where he's been eaten by the dogs. Um, and the game masters made it so that two people from the same district could win it together, but when Katniss and Peter is standing back alone, they changed these rules and once again announced that there can only be one winner. And then they take out some berries they found, which is poisonous, and then they're going to commit suicide. So there will be no winner, but they can't allow this, so they win it, both of them. Then they win it together, and they both return home to District 12 to be greeted by their families and the others. And also the game master is killed by the government for not thinking all of this through, and it was a bad um, ending to the games because this gave some inspiration to the people out there, and that's basically what the future films is going to be about. But I'm not going to spoil that. Um, I'm going to present some of the actors in the movie. Katniss is portrayed by. Um, just gonna find it. Sorry. She's portrayed by Jennifer Lawrence, and in the movie she's a little bit, holding back. She isn't. She isn't a girl. There's really good at making new friends and making people like her. She's more like an outsider, maybe. She only has her family and Gale back at the district. She doesn't really have many friends. And Peter, however, is a little bit better at that. But also think that Katniss is a person, a very strong woman who the other maybe small girls in the other district can look up to. She is definitely stronger than Peter. Peter is more like, I would say, the sex symbol of the film because he's there to look good, and he isn't, because he isn't that strong. Um, he's more like winning them up with his charm or his looks, and Katniss isn't really good at that. But Peter is, and there's also in the movie where Peter announces his love for Katniss on national television, and she gets really upset about that. But she also, in the game, she's playing a role as a woman that loves him, and that's gonna continue out in the rest of the films as well. The genre of the film, I would say, is a scientific dystopian genre. It's very, very negative, and a lot of people dies, and it's people, I think, the age 13 to 18 killing each other, and of course that's very, very dark. So and there is not really that many light, good points in the film because there's always people killing each other. There's not many smiles in the film, so I would say it was a little bit scientific, dystopian genre because it's also, there are some things in the movie that you don't have in nowadays, like they have some spaceships and stuff. So yeah, and strong points and weak points in the film. I would say that it gives you a lot to think about when you watch it. It's very, very cruel, and to think that you really put yourself in their place. What would you do in that kind of situation? Like, would you be able to kill your best friend, for example, because you might be able to have to do that, and to kill other people who also have families? That's some of the very, very strong points in the film. Weak points, I don't really know. Uh, there's not many weak points in the film. I think the movie is very, very good. I would rate it one from one to five. I would give it a five. I think I enjoy watching it. I know I've also read the books, um, and I think it's a movie that can really gives you a lot to think about. And also when we talk about utopian and dystopian societies and utopian dystopian um, people, like what they believe in, I think this movie is very good to watch because it, there's a lot to really, you know, look back upon when you have watched the film. So, in my opinion, this is a very, very good movie, and I think that it really, really describes the subject that we are talking about in school, utopian and dystopian. So for me, it's a very, very good movie, and I enjoyed it. And I hope you also like my review. And I'm sorry it's coming out this late because I didn't have my charger for the computer, but um, I'm just gonna take the 50%. Yeah, you know. So we'll see you after the vacation, and yeah.